Howdy, horse folks. It's me, Corey. Back at it again. No, I did it again. Dang it. Anyways, our guest today is Heather. Say hello to Heather. She goes by Perfect Plum on the Twitters. Yeah. I mean, you can say hello to... Okay.
I know I do speak. I was like,
okay.
Maybe there's maybe spiel. I didn't want to interrupt your spiel.
No.
No. Okay.
There's no spiel. I could spiel. I do have a presentation to ease us into our topic today. First things first.
It eases everybody else and ratchets up my anxiety levels all in one. What is it?
Today on Can't Draw Horses Club, we are working with perspective. So, here at Loading Ready Run, we talk about Plato's Allegory of the Cave a lot. And right here, it does a really good job of giving you a very visual example of projection, which is where you put a 3D space or shape or something on the screen or the draw space, because your drawing surface is flat and not, in fact, in 3 dimensions. You may have been deceived in the past, but I'm telling you, all of these things are actually flat, even though they do not represent things that are flat. A type of projection is perspective. Basically, it's where things that are far away are small and things that are close are bigger. Such as, if I take this image where everything extends off into infinity, into the horizon, everything that is far away becomes crushed into a thin line, no matter how tall it is. And everything that's closer gets bigger. But if I took, a couple of squares that were exactly the same size, your brain would be like, oh, the one that's closer to the horizon is huge, and the near one, that's a hobbit. That's a hobbit square. It should be big if it was closer. The end. End of show. End of story. I should have written, notes about what my slides were instead of surprising myself like that. But here we are. Also where we are, when I invited Heather to come on the show, she responded with some images of a door frame that says, Heather Kelly lived here. She loved horses and unicorns. For more info, look in the air conditioner.
That's right. I like how the part with the end unicorns is an updated, it's almost like a parenthetical.
Yeah. I like that you had to specify that, unicorns are under the horse umbrella.
Yeah, I think it's actually that it came later or something, maybe the horses thing was, age 9, and then suddenly unicorn rage hit and I had to be can't leave them out. Gotta get them in there in the door frame. It's actually literally the door frame of my closet. So I'm a closet horse lover, and this is I'm coming out right now.
Thank you.
Although most people who know me know that's no secret. The horse and the unicorn thing, I'm definitely classic horse girl. I can even, as we get further into our chat, I can go scrounge up some more evidence. Some more humiliating evidence.
Yeah, you and I are only loosely acquainted, so I did not expect the horse thing.
Yeah. Well, get ready.
Do you want to tell people what someone might know you for? I don't know.
Right. They'll probably.
It's not really that type of show. We can get in on the drawing immediately. You sent me a link to an Instructables design thing. Did you want to go through that?
Not necessarily. So that was when I was trying to think back to when did I get these pens? And it was, I saw online about some kind of course, which I think was either Instructables or one of the other, competing type things that would take you through how to like concept draw, like design physical, basically to do drawing in perspective so that people who wanted to bring things into physical reality could present and show it to other people. And I thought, that game designers have all kinds of skills that we need to have, and I'm trying to work more in the physical space, and everything I've done so far has been much more in like flatland and much more in more like symbolic land. Like I'm a stick figure type person, right? Like I want to get across an idea about somebody doing something. I cannot make it look like a human being. I will have a stick figure and I will just, symbolize what's happening, but it will not, it'll get the important information across, but it won't actually look like the thing. But if you want to build actual physical things, then maybe having something that can help you quickly do that, that's not in software. I'm just trying to like stay away from doing everything in software.
Right, because like I guess immediate go-to would be like pull up CAD or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can, some of those things I can use, but I'm actually looking for something that is the first step to like just iterating, ideating, and like also because like if I'm just out, somewhere, I don't want to always carry on a computer with me, and sometimes I just want to have a way to be creative. And when I'm, out sitting by a lake or something, I don't know, just be able to have the capacity to do that and enjoy, like have fun with that kind of thing, without being tied to a screen. I fucking hate screens. So that's the irony.
It is funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna just basically start my own warm-ups.
What are warm-ups?
What are warm-ups? I'm just gonna scribble. I'm just doing scribbles.
Okay. What do I do? Do I do what you do? Is it like that? Is it like a class where I get to copy you and something
Just
miraculous?
You're just cheating off of my homework.
Yes.
No, you can do your own thing. A lot of people don't like doing warm-ups or even believe in them. But I often get completely paralyzed, not knowing what to do when I start. So getting to actually like move a bit helps.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different things to kind of limber up and get my brain and hand communicating, as well as making sure my stuff is all set up. I don't know why I took your face away. Where's your face? It's hidden behind my face.
Did I face to the wrong place?
No, I moved your face behind my own face. I am a monster. It's like, nah, Heather's not important. It's Corey time. There we go. And you've got your setup with your candles and
Yeah.
board.
My electric candles. Oh, I forgot to actually tell the end of that story.
Oh, like, yeah, the air conditioner.
Look in the air conditioner. So I grew up in Central Florida, and in a house that was like built in the 1920s, and it was not built with air conditioning, so there was window units everywhere. But the window unit in my room at that time, in my young childhood, was this like monstrosity from like, I swear, 1925 or something. So I wish I had pictures of it, because it was a window unit air conditioner, but it stuck out really far into the room, on the inside as well as the outside. And it worked really well. It was probably full of Freon, so, really a toxic site hanging out my window. And the way you turned it on, it had this whole machine age, like streamline thing going on. It was like no plastic at all. It was all metal, and it had all these curved edges, and it didn't have any buttons or dials or stuff on the outside. to control it, you had to like lift a lid. So the top of this old air conditioner had this like just lid, and I used that space inside as a just kind of like secret storage unit. And I think the only thing I had in there as further evidence, I wish I had it, it would be so good, of my love for horses and unicorns was like I'd carefully drawn of not just the head, but like the full horse side view, kind of classic
Yep.
thing. And I think it just stayed in there for as long as that air conditioner was there. I would bet, actually, I should have asked my mom. It's probably somebody probably has that picture. It was really terrible. That is not the skill that I pursued, like being able to draw anatomically correct things in any kind of depth or perspective or accuracy. So that's what that meant by look in the air conditioner. It's basically go open the lid of this ancient air conditioner to find further evidence of my obsession.
Yeah, you said 1920s, and now I don't know how old the technology is. I'm just like,
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe it wasn't
like,
that old, but
refrigeration. When was refrigeration invented?
like it's mainly because of like the shape of it that it felt so like a streamlined car would have been, you know, with the just the way the metal was cut. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 40s. It could have been 1940s.
Like my mental image is just like the typical like apartment or motel window unit that's just like a microwave sized box, or like the big 90s edition things that were like sleek offside the house in a like wood panel box, big fan.
Yeah, this was not that. This was like ancient aircon technology. But it worked really well. Oh, except to finish the story, actually I kind of know why that's, I mean, other than the fact that my parents finally installed central AC in the house eventually, but the reason why that's not there in the room anymore, other than that, is that like I was one night when I was probably like 12 or 13, I was sleeping in bed and I hadn't quite fallen asleep yet, and I had my foot kind of like resting on the AC just to like get maximum amount of cooling on me, and I started hearing this like crackling noise, and I like looked over and I was just staring at the air conditioner, and I was hearing the crackling and thought, oh, maybe there's like a leaf in there or something. But then I started seeing like blue light coming from the inside, and I was like, what? And then I started smelling some kind of like, you know, burning rubber, burning electrical smell, and like the light and the fire starts getting bigger. And and instead of like doing what you know any kid should do or any person should do, and you know like immediately go and tell somebody in kind of like a, you know, concerned
You
voice,
just like put the covers back over your head and imagine it would not be there later.
Thankfully, no. Thankfully, it wasn't quite that extreme. I just already lost a lid, and I haven't even used a pen yet. Okay. I walked downstairs in my like nightgown and wandered into where my parents were still watching TV, because it was probably only like 8 or 9 p.m. And I was like, fire, fire. And they were like, what? And I was like, fire. And they like finally figured out, and they're like, why didn't you, you know, they rushed upstairs and probably just unplugged it, and you know, whatever, it was fine, luckily. But just I don't know why I was like, it's not even being like a, you know, drama queen, it's like comedy. I don't know what my idea was for that. It just didn't react in a normal way. Okay, I've drawn a mark on the paper. But
Sorry.
I like don't know how to draw in perspective. So how do I even start?
How do you start drawing in perspective? All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna move over to a fresh sheet.
but I don't want to like draw like just, you know, a box or the easy stuff. I want to be able to draw
Okay.
like
You want to
a
draw the hard
complicated-
stuff.
Yeah. And no, and I don't need to like make a full landscape. I mean more like objects, right?
I think your top-down camera is not sending live because the candles aren't flickering. And I
Ah, you're
can't see
right.
the mark you've made.
Oh, let me see. I probably just have to.
Beep, beep,
I don't
beep.
know if I'll have to keep pushing that. I probably there's
Ooh,
maybe a sleep
just 1
timer on
second.
it.
There we go. Yes, we got you.
Yeah.
You're back.
Maybe there's a sleep timer on it. I thought there wasn't, and it's plugged in. But just keep updating me, and I'll just keep pushing the
Yeah.
thing.
Well, now that you have the candles out, I can easily discern when it's frozen. So what if we started with a box just to kind of wrap our head around the idea, and then, because like, you know, you can Michelangelo it. You can remove the parts of the box that aren't what you wanted to draw.
Is that what he did?
I think it's a quote attributed to him about sculpting in marble. Just like you have to remove the parts that aren't the form,
aren't
the subject. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1-point perspective kind of just implies that you can see one face kind of moving away from you, and the rest is parallel with the horizon, so it's not going to change size.
I'm trying to watch yours, and your screen's like super
It's
small.
super tiny. Yeah, I haven't made any marks yet. I was
Okay.
doing hand stuff up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you had a box, and then you were like, I want my vanishing point to be up here, you would draw from your vanishing point lines connecting to your box, and then try to determine kind of what your distance units are for your box, and then just kind of
Long box is long.
connect up with the perspective lines, because this is all just kind of about basically parallel or converging like square shapes
Mm-hmm.
more than like round stuff. You have to use like multi-point perspective if you want to draw squiggles.
Oh.
But you can draw squiggles, you just have to ignore the vanishing point, because I could be like, now there's a road or a river around my box.
Okay, I've never even heard of what is multi-point perspective. How can that even be a thing?
How can that be a thing? So it's about sort of the faces that can move away from you. If that makes sense. Like, So there's the 1-point perspective where there's one vanishing point. If you wanted to draw like a box, I'll make a little smaller box with 2-point perspective, you would like have your lines converge to draw your other box. Oh god, that's a terrible box. But you can see 2 planes of the box moving towards your vanishing points. And then 3-point would be something like kind of like a tall building. So you can see it like moving further away from you as it goes up, as well as vanishing off into the distance on other sides. And it would be like down. This is horrible. This is awful. I'm not explaining this well. And then if you wanted to draw something distorted like a fisheye, like on the surface of a circle or sphere, you would use where does my stuff go? A 5-point perspective, which is kind of like you bend towards corners and then towards the center around the sphere. So the lines kind of... This is awful. You kind of... Oh, that's... Can't even see it. See, I'm a beginner. But I read about this stuff all the time, so... So there's like a vanishing point in the middle of the sphere that everything is coming out of, but you can also see, because of the distortion, the outsides of the shape. And
Right.
then multi-point perspective would be something that's kind of perspectivelessness.
Like
So
just getting into like Picasso type stuff, you mean? Like
no,
just
it'd be
showing.
like trying to map every single face on a spiral staircase, like because you could see some amount of like the parallel surface. Where you're like pinwheeling stuff. I tried to draw it like coming down and around. I would try to like map every single plane would have to have its own vanishing point. And so that would be multi-point perspective. It is just like beyond 5 they stop counting.
Okay. Yeah, my brain's hurting a little bit. Oh, I definitely want to dial back to fewer than 5.
Yeah, fewer than 5 is a good place to start.
Although I'm didn't actually ever know that that was how those things were thought about, like fisheye type things.
Yeah.
Because it's also like continuous, right? Like it's 5-point perspective maybe, but you can't really see right where the edges are because it's circular, so everything's kind of blending in to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like if you're looking at like Google Earth or something and there was a really tall building that you had like a top-down view on, or like the whole city would kind of like spike out like pincushion on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's 5 point, and that's beyond me. I'm not at that level, but 1 point I can kind of do, and 2 point I can kind of do.
Yeah, 2-point is actually interesting. Maybe that's what we can focus on.
Yeah. So again, it's just you're picking kind of where you want your vanishing points to be based on what kind of like camera angle you want. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
you can move your camera like up or down, uh, different to the horizon. Like you can move your eye line.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's talk about how that relates to the horizon type thing. Because if 1-point perspective is really just that like the horizon line is a one-dimensional thing that you're aiming for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so 2-point perspective is just like 2 lines that you're aiming for, right? Would that be a mischaracterization?
2 lines that you're aiming for.
Or I guess 1-point is like it's just literally 1 point, not a line.
Yeah, is the 1 point is the like point of convergence
Mm-hmm.
in infinity.
And then if it's 2 points, I think where my brain was breaking is that like our way of seeing things. Is it? Do any of these actually just map straight up to how we perceive?
Yeah, because it's all related to like focal lengths.
Mm-hmm.
So like how lenses work, like our eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just planes that are perpendicular to each other. So it's like if you can see 2 faces like at the corner of a building, then you're looking in 2-point perspective because you can look one way off into infinity and the building will get like smaller, and the other way off into infinity. So you're at like the corner and then they go down.
Okay.
It's all foreshortening. So do you have a ruler? That can usually help.
Oh, probably. Let me think where it would be. I at least have a straight edge something. Do you mean a ruler literally with like markings on it, or do you
Just a
mean
straight edge.
like,
Yeah, it's just for connecting your vanishing points with your box.
okay. I'm definitely in a room full of such things. I just want to find one that works for my little display area. I mean, it could just be another piece of paper if I have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome Raiders, Mix Harry Ann. Thank you. Um,
Okay, I've got a few options.
okay.
I've got this piece of like plastic lid thing,
Yeah, that'll work.
and yeah, if that doesn't work, I'll just use the edge of the paper again. All right. So you want me to do like the box exercise?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it? Like, do I draw like a box and then do I draw the edges of it out into infinity? Like, well, I don't even have enough paper for that.
No, you just draw a point and then project 3 lines off of it.
Okay, so I have like 1 point here, and then I draw a box, and then I project all of the corners that I can see, except for the bottom corner.
Yeah, and that's because the square of your box, the face that you're drawing is parallel with the horizon. So it's not going to be foreshortened or shaped in any way. Like there's not going to be any not perspective, no not aberration. There's a word that works here that doesn't appear in my
It'll
brain.
be an actual like right angles box rather than having like a parallelogram sort of appearance to it. Whatever that word is. Which I'm still kind of approximating because I actually don't have like a corner thing that I can make sure I'm lined up with, but I should be.
No, this is just kind of to get you to see how it works.
Okay. And then I can use different colored pens for my projections.
Ooh, distortion. Asthanius chat got me. Distortion. There's no shape distortion.
There we go. It lacks distortion.
Yeah. It is not distorted by being distant from your lens.
Being at an angle to your lens.
Yes.
Okay, that is like probably the next color over because you barely can't even tell that it's different, but whatever.
Oh yeah, you've got your brushes. I've only got colors. And I think my yellow needs a wash. Oh.
This lid is kind of cool because it actually you could see what's underneath it too.
That is nice. My uh, sharp and dangerous metal ruler does not allow me to see underneath.
So here's my projected rectangle. Now what?
Well, we can try drawing an ellipse on one of the faces so you can kind of see how it is affected. I'm catching up with you.
Sure.
Don't think I necessarily drew this big enough to explain. No, my ruler's too short. No! Kleenex box. Alright. You're a ruler now. There we go. So I'm just gonna, like, arbitrarily pick the length of some of those other faces. Like that. Bingo bongo.
I didn't put my other lines in there yet. I thought that was like, is that part of the step that I should do next?
Yep, because you have to kind of define the end of your shape.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I can already like see my fail very clearly. I've got distortion.
Oh, in the shape that it's not like perfectly square.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
not that, I mean, it's a rectangle and that's fine, but like there's clearly like, my eye can see that like it's not like this line is so much. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't describe it, but
it's like that corner is skewed or it's been like picked up a little. It's just a little off.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't really matter for this part.
Okay, but these two lines are not parallel to. Well, they don't need to be parallel to each other, but they don't give the illusion that the box has completely square sides.
Yeah. Guess we'll have to practice and iterate on that a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if to like find the center of each of your faces, if you draw a line from corner to corner,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think the ones down the faces that are foreshortened, you're supposed to draw your lines in angle with the vanishing point, which I didn't do. Like
Are
this.
you doing that with a pencil for a reason of wanting to be able to remove it later?
Yeah, because I messed up on at least one of these already.
I can't find a pencil. I guess I don't have to do that.
No, you don't.
But it's smart too. I think.
I'm usually pretty sloppy, and this could use a little touch of precision, doing things the correct way.
I think I know where I can get a pencil. Oh, hell yeah. I've got this really nice mechanical pencil. It's being put to the use that it was always intended for.
Precision drafting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at this beauty. Look
Ooh.
at that.
Yeah.
It's like the Empire State Building was made into
A pencil.
a pencil. Okay, so I'm gonna do my X's, but then I need to follow up on what you were saying about the one on the side having to be. Oh, I see. It would have to be in that perspective, for that line.
Beautiful. Uh,
I don't usually have to do like weird lefty person things, but I just realized I'm like having to do it here because of the way I set up my camera. So I'm like, I don't know, my desk is very crowded and I'm having to like cross my arms when I do everything.
hold off on the hypercubes till the 2 hour mark. No, thank you, McHarrian. No, thank you.
I mean, there is a bit of an irony in the fact that, you know, the most recent, well, the reason why we even know each other, for one, and recently released work is all about like things flying, having very good perspective.
Yeah, it really.
Boxes.
The best part about doing game development is that you can cheat on any of the games that you're playing
Yes.
so that you can make sure that they work. I am not high scoring at Super Hypercube.
Oh God, no. I, you know, yeah, I suppose it's not too shameful to admit I've, you know, never won a natural win of that game or really any.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
Okay, so this one should be in perspective with the dot.
Yeah, because it has to be parallel to your edges.
Good luck.
Yeah.
That's exactly my problem, but hmm. See, now if I try to put it through from the dot to the middle of the side,
Yep.
it is actually lining up with the front middle, but that's why we're here.
Yeah. It's mostly suffering. I should have added that to the head of the.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm not a visual artist, is because I think it is mostly suffering.
That's what I've been told. Art's hard.
All that said, I kind of like my triangle world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, this is a way to freehand circles onto an arbitrary face. So, for your diagonal lines, you'll want to make a mark halfway up, and then 3/4 of the way up, like so between the halves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll make mine big so you can actually see what I'm talking about.
Thank
So
you.
half and then half, because that's part of your guidelines for the weird spots in your circle.
And when you say circle, do you mean it's gonna be a circle, or is this gonna be an oval?
I can only promise ellipses.
Ellipses. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said
Yeah.
halfway, which I'm just eyeballing.
Yep.
And then another like 3/4 of the way out on the other.
So it's just half and then half. Yeah. So it's you want your 3/4 mark is where the gold is at. Because the edge of your ellipse is going to touch the outside edge of your square on the Cartesian, I guess, sides. And then it's going to go through those 3/4 points. Oh, it's beautiful. Not a football at all.
Neither is it a lemon.
Yeah, no lemons or limes here. I did the very first episode of the show on circles. So this is pain I've felt before. So we can do exactly the same thing on the other faces as well. So you can see kind of how the foreshortening works on your circle.
Right.
Oh boy. Really, really squashy in some zones.
I'm just drawing the dots because I'm. Oh,
Yay! I did it. You're just drawing the dots?
Right now I am because I'm just delaying the inevitable because I'm already feeling horrified.
Just gotta embrace that terror, you know?
Yeah.
Drawing without a safety net.
I'm gonna steal your format and I'm gonna do a show about singing, where I like get people to go on a stream and force them to sing with me.
I mean, I'm game for that. I did choir, like church choir as a kid. And then after that, totally dropped off. And then I got to do karaoke once in Japan, and I loved it, but it's both humiliating and not really a thing in North America, even though there are like karaoke bars and stuff you can do. I can't necessarily drag my friends off on a weekend to go sing with me.
It's not as common here. It's not as just like you can just drop in for a few, an hour and then leave. It's more like it has to be an epic. We're going to a karaoke bar and you're going to wait like an hour because it's going to take that long to get around to you for the song you chose.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the bar is, singing at one karaoke station. But the karaoke room type places at least have started to kind of show up in some cities.
Yeah.
It's just not the average experience here, I think. Ay, ay, ay.
It gets pretty tight, eh?
Yeah. Okay. So now, all right, so why did I draw those lines? Explain it again.
As guides for your circle.
But on the these crossbars, it goes all the way to the outside. It's
Yep.
only on the inner, on these four corners, that it goes to the inner one. And I can't draw it straight. I have to draw it kind of curved.
Yep, that's it.
But then I have to go out here. At what point on average in your show are people driven to drink?
Depends on the time zones, really. I've had a few people out east, like out Halifax and such. So far, no one. No one has drunk on this show.
That may change today.
Yeah, there's no prohibition on lure streams.
That's good. Actually, this one is almost looking like a circle compared to the others. That's what perspective will do for you. It hides things.
A little bit, yeah. Just because the lines get so close to each other.
What even is this? Yeah, I think that's like my when I was talking about like doing stick figures and stuff, like my design mind cannot abide with the fact that these lines are so close that they're basically overlapping, and that's okay. Because I'm like, they're different things. It's the circle and it's the square. They have to be different. How will people know?
I have threatened people bodily violence for leaving tangents in work, so I think that's what we're talking about.
Yes. Uh, I think I've completed all the steps that you did so far. Is that right?
Yeah. We are basically coming up to a break here, so I'm just kind of extending the doodles a bit. Like if I wanted to draw like a cylinder or something, I've kind of got this as like a base model for how that would kind of look at this angle, so I might try like mirror, mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just see if that works. Just extrude that face. I think next week I finally get to learn how to shade things. Alright, so before break, I'm going to shout out the subs. Soul Eater 50210, 30 months, thank you. Shadmed, 38 months, also thank you. And Jazaria, who's been here for 41 months. Awesome. We are going to go to commercial, and then we will be back after 3 to 5 minutes. Get some water, cycle the fluids, stretch, take your meds, hug a cat, and
Play a synth.
play a synth. Yes. All right, we'll be back shortly. We're back. It's me and Heather, trying to tackle the mysteries of perspective here on Can't Draw Horses Club. How are you all doing out there? I saw Mangled Pixel say hello recently, and I see a bunch of other people. Hello, hello. To Amelie, I think you posted a YouTube link to an LP performance of Lost on You in relation to a thing we said in Talking Sim like last week, and it was awesome. I like that song. Thank you for posting that. So back at it again. We have to, I guess, decide what sort of thing we want to draw in perspective.
Yeah.
How complicated are you thinking now that you've been forced to draw a square in a circle?
And done so with no an outcome not very. Oh, where's my camera?
You showing?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks great. What are you talking about? It's identical to mine. Perfect, flawless.
Mm-hmm. Let's say something that has curves, just to
Something that has
take
curves.
it up a notch. Yeah. I actually was okay. You were saying the thing about the 2-point perspective. Do you think we could do that? Either basic exercise with that, or try to draw something above the basic exercise.
Yeah, we can do that. And I might actually use the units on my ruler to do that.
That makes me think maybe I need such a thing.
Well, it's either that or you get something that just has a shape that you use as a
guideline.
Guide. Yeah.
Oh, I'm in possession of everything that I would need, but where? I'm gonna give maybe okay. Ooh. Worst comes to worst, I'm using a comb.
It's ambitious. I'm actually looking around for my proper ruler. I have like a drafting ruler that's like a wedge shape that has like multiple units on it. Would be useful in this scenario. Unfortunately, I just leave everything out when I use it, and then it disappears later.
Yeah.
Ah! Well, Ian's got a longer and deadlier metal ruler. This one has sharp corners, whereas mine has rounded corners. Okay. I'm gonna try and draw this thing big, because I ran out of space a lot last time. And I've got so much paper.
It's really frustrating knowing that you have something and just not showing up. That comes.
I think I'm gonna use one of my brush pen caps as my unit of measurement.
Yeah, maybe I'll like watch what you're doing and like see if there's something I know I have right on hand that suffices.
I just marked 3 lengths, and I think that'll be good for my square.
Okay, I can't see your whole page. Can you move it up so I can understand a little on this?
A little better. Here, I'm just moving my keyboard. So I'll share in the same space. There we go. I just made like a point at the bottom of the page and then drew my 2 vanishing points and connected it, and then marked my distances.
Right.
So I think that's how it works. I think the distances should be the same all across the base grid. Space grid.
So these are not arbitrarily placed. They are
Well, my vanishing points were. I just wanted them to be reasonably far away.
Yeah.
And I kind of imagine in my head the very center line of the page as the horizon, so I wanted them kind of up so that I would have kind of a down view, I guess, or like a very in-your-face view of the cube. So I'm gonna try to draw like the vertical
building
line.
sort of thing.
Yeah, flat iron. Totally. Like,
Chevron.
in theory, these lines should all meet up nicely. I'm just penciling them in because I want to show the grid.
Can you step back a step from the like verbalize what? I can't tell what I should do with the center line. Like
This I just put it vertical. I just extended it.
okay.
And then I marked out my units to pick the point where the edge should be.
Okay, so are the units going down that center line the same distance apart as the ones on the side line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think in theory, that's sort of how it works, although I might have missed a step. It was like what you were talking about when you were doing your across the face things, where you were like, the two corners should meet. It's like the lines that intersect the middle of your square should also intersect each other.
I think I might be demarcating my edges using the distances of the stripes of this trans pride flag.
Perfect. Those should be equally spaced. I'm just making dots so that stuff is visible.
Okay, so the one that's going down the middle, does it has those dots on it too? I can't quite see them.
Yeah, I did mark them.
Oh, but there's a few less of those.
Well, from the starting point, I did 3.
Okay. And then, why did you do 3 instead of whatever?
I like the number 3. I wanted to make it big.
Okay. So I could do 4 just to like be different.
Yeah.
And
Or 2 or 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to, on that center line, go from my vanishing points to that. And so it should make a grid on each of the faces so far.
Oh, wait. The
Yeah.
the bottom line. See, oh, I guess I'll point at mine. That's what I can do. I'm like,
Okay.
I can't point at yours. I'll point at mine. So here's my my flag stripe here's 4 of them.
Yeah.
On the outside, of course, it was, the 4th one is down here, and then I had a 5th one. Is the 5th one the one that I should attach just because it's the last one and it needs to all be one of those grid lines, or does it matter that I just attach it anywhere? It has to be one of those, doesn't it?
It just if you want like even sizing, because it's just a unit grid for determining the space. But if you go all the way out to 5, you might not be able to draw the like top of your box. The
Oh, I'm gonna need more space.
because there's a whole like top of the
Oh, that's the top. I don't know about that. Okay, good to know. That's good to know before I'm using pencil now though, so it's kind of okay.
yeah.
So I can maybe use 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 down this. Oh no, the box. Okay, there's. I'm gonna use 3 down the center line also, but not because it's my favorite number.
Look, it's just a perfectly symmetrical number. I like it. And then I should end up with something that looks like a Rubik's Cube.
And I'm connecting these unit lines, but I'm connecting the 4th unit line on the outside with the 3rd one in the middle.
It should go to the 4th one in the middle.
Oh, but then it'll go in this other direction.
It should, though.
Okay, but yours doesn't. Or does it? And
1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3.
Oh, no, I meant for the kind of like chevron-y thing that's coming in on both.
Oh, this, the up here, those, you're connecting, I think, to the perspective point. Your outside corner. That, kinda. Gross. It's a little off, but you get it. That's the top of my box.
Oh, okay. Start doing these.
I'm gonna put the cap back on my yellow. This is the yellow that needs a cleaning.
How do you clean it?
I don't know. Probably water. I think this is water-based. Wonder if there's refills for these.
This is North America. They don't do refills. Just have to get a new one.
But it's Tombow. I think these are Vietnamese. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe there's refills.
Yeah, maybe there's refills.
It is a Rubik's cube.
Yeah. That's
Okay, so my kind of distance unit measurement, I use the same exact measurement for the top perspective line or top line as I do the bottom one, or does it need to be parallel? Show me your thing again.
so I used these
Hmm.
points with my
Okay.
measurement and then just connected them up to the other.
Yeah, because at the top they're going to be closer together, right? Or is that an optical illusion?
I think they're closer together at the top.
Yeah. If measured against the line, because the line on the bottom has a sharper angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why this one looks more like a square because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's closer to the viewing degree. It's closer to
Mm-hmm.
0,
Mm-hmm.
and then this one's just like pointy.
Yeah. So when you were going straight up, you were just kind of eyeballing that, or did you have a
I
way to?
eyeballed the straight up line, which is kind of probably why my stuff at the top didn't cross
Didn't mean it exactly.
quite nicely. Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is basically exactly the method someone would use to lay out an interior space for drafting, or like an exterior in uh, a model shot or something.
Oh man, I can't. I can't make my lines like be straight relative to each other. I'm kind of like giving myself a headache.
Yeah. So now you take the points that it connects at the top and connect those to your vanishing points, and that makes the top face of your cube.
Oh, to the opposite side
Yeah.
vanishing point.
Yep. I mean, technically, they're already connected to the near side.
True. Trust me, if I hadn't realized that, I would be trying to figure out how to connect them again right now.
I I I have absolute faith that it would have only taken you like 3 or 5 seconds to be like, oh, it's already connected.
Thank you for your unearned faith in me. Unwarranted.
I think I'm going to do some truly heinous things to this cube in order to play with it a bit.
Would that be cubuse?
Yes. Cubicide?
I can't believe my cat has like not moved a muscle this entire time. She must really like background Twitch streams or something.
Yeah, that's weird because usually, like, if you probably do like voice calls or stuff with the cat around. If you're like engaged in some activity where you're talking and like active and not touching or talking to the cat,
Mm-hmm.
then the cat must insert themselves
Yeah,
into your line of activity.
that is absolutely what I expected to happen. So, yeah.
So yeah, I think you're there. I think you got it. Yeah, your first Rubik's cube solved. I mean,
We don't know
you
that
could
it's
know
solved.
how to do Rubik's cubes.
Oh, I could. I don't, but I also don't think that without any, without it having any color on there that you can guarantee that that is solved. It's probably not solved.
Yeah. So what I've done is started to. I'm gonna carve away a little bit this cube. I wanted to round this edge like it's a, I don't know, just a C around thing. So I'm going to cut away that section of the cube and just going to continue that to like the top. And I'm going to do that with the markers so that I can erase my pencil.
Is this going to be a heart-shaped box? Does that ring any bells?
Maybe that's next. Maybe next we heart shaped box. Now that song's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you know what I want to do with mine? This
Mm-hmm.
is, I don't know. I'm gonna shoot for the moon here. I'm gonna try to like make a some kind of core or hole in it,
Oh yeah.
or maybe the hole is it's like an apple core thing, so it's kind of like right here in the middle front or something.
So you're gonna try to like cut in.
Yeah, kind of like just take a bite out of it.
Yeah. So just uh, keep in mind that your faces are parallel to your vanishing points. That's it.
That's simple.
That's simple. It is that simple. Like I might draw like a a bulge coming out of one of the faces over here. That
Oops,
sounds weird.
camera back. Just bring him back alive. Come on. All right. Oh,
There it is. It's cat time.
What? I'm already breaking my own brain. I get like this idea, but like I want to make kind of like a cave.
Oh yeah, like an interior
Yeah,
cutaway.
the bite is gonna be like a cave,
Oh yeah,
but I mean I drew the outline sort of symmetrical on the two sides of what the edge of the cave would be, but now I don't know how to make it actually look like a cave. Like, shouldn't I just like color it in really dark, like the shadow? But that's not going to look like spatial. It's just going to be really flat.
yeah. Well, like, how far in do you see it going?
I want it to vanish into who knows. You can't see the back.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely just make it a hole, I guess. If you want some lighting indication around like the entrance, you'd probably need to like establish your light source, let's say, and
Mm.
then that acts as another kind of vanishing point. Rather, it'll define the edges of your shadows and the direction. Like, because you'd be basically ray tracing. Oh, so sad.
This is for the fans.
Oh, a second. Here we go. Yeah, everything is coming up. Oh,
Oh,
oh, get the head bunks.
okay. Mommy's in a live stream. Get down.
No.
Unhappy cat. I'm just gonna start doing some stuff.
Yeah, you gotta figure out how stuff works. I'm trying to kind of project a dome shape out of one side. I don't know how to communicate dome versus like cylinder. I think I could make a cylinder, but the way the far edge vanishes is confusing to me. So I think I just have to keep kind of building up the skeleton of it so that I can see it.
Mm-hmm. It looks very dome-like to me. We could get into that realm of optical illusion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it an indentation or a dome?
Yes. Which I love. I love perspective tricks. I love which way is the dancer spinning.
All right, my pens are This is also a bit of an experiment with my Tombos. But I'm just discovering that like it's hard to tell from the cap what it's actually going to look like on the page.
Right.
And a minor difference in cap color is producing a pretty extreme difference in, or a unclear difference in ink.
Right. I
Don't
guess.
know my materials at all.
Yeah. One of your options is to make a like little palette piece off to the side, like
Yeah,
take a spare sheet.
right. Yeah,
Just
I've
try them all.
done that with my watercolors and need to do that with these, especially because it's even going to be a little bit different on each kind of paper. This is watercolor paper, so it's a little bit off-white, but it's super like absorbent.
Hmm.
It doesn't really look, I don't know. It's not as bad as I feared, but it's pretty bad.
I guess I could try to make my own hole. Cheese holes.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I'm gonna do a tunnel through the other side that is like a basically a tube that's like going to connect, like a slide. It's going to connect the top to the side and see how that turns out.
Right.
Now I really wish I did have a ruler.
Just, steal one from someone sitting nearby. Sorry. The shape that I've created reminds me a little bit of a building called the Butter Dome that is on the U of A campus, the University of Alberta.
Uh-huh.
It's just a big yellow rectangle with kind of a curvy top. It's kind of like my far edge.
Yeah.
There's no place like home. Precious Butter Dome.
Is it like a piece of modern architecture, kind of like OCAD is?
I honestly don't know when it was built. Hey chat, can you quickly check the Wikipedia article for the Butter Dome? Just gotta use my external brain for this one. Utilize the internet. (1983). Thank you, Contingent Cat.
Postmodern.
It is for the kinesiology department. It has a bunch of like running tracks and athletic stuff in it.
Is the reference to butter simply for the way it looks?
Yep. Just because it's yellow. I wouldn't even really call it a dome. But it's where we at.
Okay, so now, wow. Awkward circles. Now I want to try to make these two circles look like they're connected on the inside by, like, somehow that has to become a kind of tube. What's the name of the tube shape? Cylinder. Right?
Yes. Yeah. So I think if you gotta kind of sketch out where they would meet in 3D space, right? So you got your grid to kind of guide you.
Like, I'm trying to understand how to do that.
So anything going into that face that you've got on the left would go towards your vanishing point, right? Your left.
Yeah, this is my left.
Oh, God. The flip is weird.
Yeah.
In a second. I'm gonna fix that. Aha! Alright.
Now is left?
Just 1 second.
Hmm?
Now I see it as your left, yes. Alright.
Okay. It looks
So,
like the right
the one on your right. The one on your right will go towards the vanishing point if it's going inside. Because everything in that face goes towards that vanishing point.
Everything in this face goes towards both vanishing points. That's the thing. But
well, that just goes down, right?
Yeah, well, I want it to be like it's connected inside. Like, theoretically, these two things are connected.
Yeah, you could just draw straight lines between them. You're not going to see much on the top side one, just because it's such an angle. Yeah.
Shallow opening. I suppose, yeah, I could maybe, just to be able to practice more, I could do it on the side instead of the top.
think I might do the same kind of thing, but show like an interior cutaway on the
Ooh.
side I haven't colored in yet. So that I can actually see where my tubes is going. So just have to remember that the lines converge. Just have to remember that.
Which lines?
Uh, any point on a face should have like a matching point, which is like how you can connect this bottom edge of the thing up to here and then over to the side. Like it's all connected in the same space. So like all of the lines have intersections. I just have to kind of plan out.
Yeah,
how
I
to
mean,
do the
this is
thing.
sort of the key. That's sort of like the key knowledge
Yeah.
here. And I'm still struggling with it. Like I can repeat back to you the words that needs to happen and still not quite know where to put them on the page.
Yep.
I'm just gonna watch you.
Okay. Oh, it's horrible. Why is it like this? Hoisted by my own petard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I give myself some slightly more pleasant bends.
Oh, you're gonna have bends in yours. I think I'm gonna just draw mine straight. It's gonna like just slice on through.
Mm.
Yours is actually getting into spaceship territory.
That happens a lot here. I end up drawing a lot of spaceships. There. Just gonna thicken the lines now.
Mint candy spaceship.
Mint candy like an Altoids tin?
That's it. They're just one of those Brock's, mints with the red stripes going out from them.
Oh. I see.
And a worm.
And a worm. Okay, let's see. Type interior will be purple because I don't want green and red touching like it's Christmas. And then I'll do like, well, maybe I should just actually just make the whole thing purple. Conservation of colors. Beautiful. Guess now I have like a big interior space. Maybe this is just also interior. Maybe this comes from somewhere deep inside.
It's a Beaubourg spaceship, like the museum in Paris.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Oh yeah, get your exterior brain to Google that, or to search that with the search engine of your choice.
You said Beaubourg?
Yeah, Beauborg, I think. Or maybe I'm probably missing some letters. Beaubourg. Beaubourg.
Beaubourg.
I know. I can be the one who comes on the show to do it really wrong to sort of prove,
Mm-hmm.
how it works by showing a complete counter example.
Sorry, that job's already occupied. You trying to put me out of work? Yeah, I mean, some people come on the show to just stunt, to be like, hey, I'm a professional illustrator who's been working in my field for like 20 years. I could just super casually drop a perfectly anatomically correct horse down on the screen. You can't even stop me. It takes like 15 seconds. Just here's a horse. And then there's like 3 hours left in the show.
There's this week.
Yeah. It is hard going with people that are more experienced, at least for me, I've found, because they are faster than I am. And I'm just left sucking fumes. Just like, how do I draw a square? Oh no, I don't understand.
Oh, the table have turned.
Yeah.
Um, I'm doing this because I had this vision that like, so I have a circle on this side, and I have my circle on this side, and I had in mind that like the top of this circle needs to connect. If it's going to just be like a straight shot tube,
Yeah,
the top of this circle will connect directly to the top of that circle,
true.
which I kind of didn't do because it really should be more like if it's the top, then it's going to be more like exactly the middle of this. So that
Yes.
line I did was kind of bad. I need to erase it. But that's like my theory, and that means that some of them are kind of crossing because they're inside where like the bottom of this one is going to connect to the very bottom of that one. So
Yeah, so it's your view of it is cut off by
yeah,
the hole itself.
right. And then also like but the side of the right side of this one will connect to the and I don't know if it's reversed on the screen, but anyway, my right side of this one will connect to the left side of that one because they're both the one most facing me.
Yeah, it's the shortest distance.
Yeah. And so I just started kind of like trying to draw those lines, and that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, it's probably not very precise is the problem. Like I'm noticing the problems with the lack of precision.
Mm. But
But
I think you're on the right track. Like it's like if you shoved a pencil through your cube. Like
right,
it's
that's
just
what I'm
like the
sort of
tunnel. Yeah.
trying to make happen. But it should be a cylinder of circular, as close to circular width as I can get it. And right now it is not.
Well, you only have to worry about the top and bottom to define your size.
Yeah, and that's the one I got wrong already.
I feel like I need to attach a crank to mine. This is now a crank assembly. Mildly inspired by Paul Klee's twittering machine.
Love that. Love Paul Klee.
So do I. I was doing a lot of research on, was it for color theory? No, it was like a basic composition thing, such as motion. That was it, movement. And so, uh, kind of ended up reading a lot of Paul Klee stuff. Even grabbed uh, his notebooks, which are translated and annotated. Very cool. Just see him work out kind of like how to create tension in a scene, or show things intersecting, or try to draw the interior and exterior of an object at the same time. Which is ambitious.
And like how to imply movement.
Yeah. So like the twittering machine looks like it moves, like it looks mechanical.
Yeah, you can just, because your brain kind of knows what these cranks would normally do, you sort of see it. I guess also just, the one thing studying art that I hadn't known before doing that was like, oh, the artist can control the way that your eye moves around the
Yeah.
canvas, whatever it is, right?
That's what
Like
the subject was. That was the movement we were doing. Which makes it really hard to search stuff because of the overlap in terms. Like we need different words for movement now, people. I know it's been hundreds of years, but we're gonna need to fix some things so I can Google this properly. When I was at at the University of Alberta studying computing science, one of my profs was doing big studies on salience. So, like, doing eye tracking and looking at where people look at on a computer screen for, like, UI design.
Right?
And he was kind of, like, teamed up with the biology department. And they were, like, trying to crack the code of how to control where a person looks. It's like big doctoral thesis kind of subject.
Did they talk to the art school at all?
I don't know. I think it was mostly just comp sci and biology. I dropped out, so I don't know. Didn't really end up with a close relationship with any of the teachers. Oh, we are at time for our next break. So, check my notifications. I would like to thank Hexy Lexi, who was gifted a sub by Beowulf. Lord Hosk returns for his 72nd month. When do you start coloring them in and then start peeling the stickers when you get frustrated making it so future generations can never solve it?
Oh, 'cause
Rubik's
it's a
Cube. Yeah. It's just
very soon. Very soon.
I've been very impressed, like, watching competitive Rubik's Cube people because, like, they can just look at a cube that's had the stickers replaced and tell you that it's wrong. Like, it's not solvable anymore.
Wow.
Like, very impressive. And Baradite was gifted a sub by an anonymous gifter. Thank you, everybody. We are going to run some commercials and step away for a bit, maybe do some stretching, stand up at least. Just get away from lights and sound.
Is that this sound?
Yeah, I would never escape that sound. It's comforting. It's like being home. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everybody, here to Kentra Horses Club on Loading Ready Run. It is now a drink and draw.
Cheers.
Yeah! Alright. Cheers. Got a peach wheat ale from Stanley Park Brewing in Vancouver.
Let's have a pear cider. It's all right. My housemate left it in the fridge before she moved to Saskatchewan. Literally, last week.
The housemate was just like, I don't like it here anymore. I'm going to live in rural Canada.
Well, they gave her a job at the university, so yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stupid tech industry. No.
Oh, Nah, it's all about art. She's an artist.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because, yeah, Saskatchewan's reasonably big on, like, tech and research. So that was just my assumption. They've had, like, fiber internet since, like, the 70s.
Yeah.
It's weird out
Like
there.
rural places, some of them kind of got on the bandwagon earlier because that was how they were going to stay connected to, the world a lot better. So.
Yeah, it matters a lot here. And then just, we've got a telecom monopoly, so it's not happening.
Yeah. I mean, from the time I lived in Canada, like the terribleness of the mobile phone and internet was, yeah, was notable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm from northern BC and northern Alberta, so it's just 8 hours from anywhere, and you're lucky if you can get a microwave tower installed. Anyways, back at it again.
To the drawing.
Back to the drawing. And also, I will shout out Lord Crusher, who's been here for 73 months, who says hello to both of us.
Hey, Crush.
Crusher's one of those science people who does science. Big fancy telescopes.
The point I was at last was deciding trying to kind of just like draw the lines from the end of the tube on the left side for me to the tube on the right to sort of figure out where. And it's kind of brain breaking because it has to do with, like you were saying, the distance from the viewer. I don't know.
Yeah. The viewport, the viewpoint, the...
Yeah. And so, like, I can't just assume that I can, like, I have these two lines. One is, like, attaching the bottom of that circle to the bottom of that circle. And this one is attaching the right of that circle to the left side of that circle in the center. And I'm like, but that makes them, that's impossible because now there's all these different perspective lines that don't match up. And I don't yet know what the theory is behind. I mean, it's pretty complicated because of their multiple different angles,
Yeah.
But have yet to figure out, like, where to draw. If I was to imagine where the like what part of the tube connected most directly to the other end, like, I can't make my head do that yet.
Yeah, and it looks like it sort of looks like it's twisting because how close your side and bottom line are getting, right? But your bottom line is actually disappearing under the side of the circle, so it's not actually close to your sideline. It just looks close because
Right. Because perspective.
yeah. So like what you're drawing here, like it is technically a cylinder, but you're also chopping the faces at angles, so it's more like a penne, like a little noodle.
Exactly, it's a penne.
Yeah.
TM.
TM. I don't think anyone's trademarked pasta. Please, no one trademark pasta. There must be proprietary pasta shapes, but I don't want to know what the illegal pasta shapes are.
Yeah, that's it. I should just go in my kitchen and get a freaking penne and, like, figure out how it's connected.
Then insert it through a Rubik's Cube.
Yes.
But yeah, like you're right that the near side and the other near side connect, and the top and the bottom each connect to their relative partner, I guess.
Yeah.
It just looks weird.
It looks so weird. And I don't know if the weirdness is because that's how perspective works, or if it's because I'm a shit drawer of lines. So. Or a little of both. Why choose?
Yeah, it can be both. You could possibly help yourself by repeating your circle through the shape, I guess. Just drawing extra contours.
Oh yeah. So it becomes that thing where you're like drawing it at like multiple angles and you have like this one and then the next one and then the next one and the next one and they like turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna look like that.
Yeah. Oh.
That's
God.
a what have I gotten myself into laugh.
Yeah, it is. It's the just the tiniest fraction of a yeah. If the line is the slightest bit off of where I thought I was drawing it, it's instantly obvious and very much harder to undo than it was to do in the first place.
Right. I think it helps if you think of most of the lines you're putting down as scaffolding. Like
Yeah.
they're just kind of like temporary brain supports.
Yeah, that is how I'm thinking of them. But I'm just looking at them and trying. It's like magic eye picture. I'm just trying to make it.
Decode the hidden
Yeah.
truth, I guess.
Yeah. It is not happening. It's like easier, of course, to understand the top and bottom lines that sort of demarcate it in that, what is it, vertical space. But then once I start trying to thinking of the close and far away ones and the way they're at different angles, is really painful.
Mm. So worse than a Rubik's Cube.
You got some nice echo. What's outside your window?
Right now, some sort of emergency vehicle, but outside is a highway and a bunch of other buildings that are tall.
Yeah, it sounds like a sheer stone wall out there.
It's made of glass and steel and brick. Whoa. I put like lines inside to fill the interior space. They all just go to the vanishing point because it's a plane, so there's an infinite number of lines along the plane. It's like, should I try shading? It's maybe too ambitious for me. Or not. I mean, there's no harm in trying. Just have to figure out where I want it. I feel like I should draw little gear spokes or something on this.
I'm just gonna start trying to draw in more guidelines until suddenly a solid tube will jump forth. That sounded like a sound effect.
The seagull?
Yeah.
I'm being told to get some ambient occlusion in here, so I'll try. I'll try for that.
I'm into it, so I say no.
Oh no!
Oh, into your picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they meant like noise canceling.
Oh! And my mic? No, no. I technically already am using, but no. So ambient occlusion, self occlusion,
Oh yeah, okay. Why is that called ambient?
because it's the ambient light. The
Mm,
light filling the space, bouncing off every surface.
right.
It's the brightness of the light is determined by the angle of reflection on the surface. The closer the view to the normal of the surface is, the more light bounces, and then if it's at a steeper angle, you get shadows, and then from those shadows less light bounces onto the other surfaces to reflect back to you. So you get shadows near corners.
Yeah. It's funny like how because the focus of my work in more recent years has been a lot more on sound.
Oh.
When I think ambient, I immediately go to like sound related. Well, we were just talking about like the ambient noise, so
Yeah.
noise there. But it's like, oh right, ambient refers to light as well. I only spent like I don't know how many years having to think more about that.
God, what would ambient occlusion be in sound? I think it would just have to do with like the architecture and the space the sound was being played, like because it has to do with like the volume.
Mm-hmm. It'd be like just dampening,
Yeah.
the reflections, sound reflections,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Yeah, like if you had like a little textury spot or something, you know. Why sound absorbing panels are spiky. Correct.
actually is starting to look more sensible now.
Oh, your eye is kind of seeing it. No, yeah.
Well, it's like I have there's repetition, like it's starting to form a kind of pattern of, when suddenly I see that the same sort of shape is there 3 times, because it really is drawing this
Yeah.
shape
So it's kind of clicking a little bit.
a little bit. At least it's making me feel less like I'm just making a major mistake. At least I'm making the same mistake like 3 times.
Right.
But actually, it's probably not a mistake. It's just...
Yeah, I don't know, like, how much punishment should be involved in exploration. I have a problem where I never go quite dark enough with my values. I'm always just playing in like very subtle, muddy areas because I'm a coward.
Are you trying to change that right now?
Yep. I grabbed a harder pencil, or rather a softer pencil. A darker pencil. A dark pencil.
Brave of you.
Hmm?
How very brave.
Oh, thank you. Cat says ambient occlusion in audio sounds like white noise masking. Noise in space can cover intended sound. So,
Yeah, it's good. Good analogy.
like in my head, I'm thinking about like how sound wave like superposition works, or like
Superposition.
you
Tell
know
us more about that.
that's where the waves are matchy.
Oh, and so it amplifies?
Yeah, that amplifies, and then if you offset it, it cancels out.
Yeah.
And I guess white noise would both hit some of the tones and cancel some of the tones. Ugh.
Yeah. And I think what white noise does is maybe also more related to like our brains than the actual waveforms, possibly.
You think it just like disrupts being able to determine stuff? Like it's just like overwhelming?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, obviously it also masks literally some of the sound, but I don't think that's the only reason why it works.
That's why getting a clean recording near traffic or a river is sometimes hard. That makes a lot of sense. I have a lot of problems with noise pollution in my recordings. I have to do like post-processing all the time.
Yep. Do you know about taking a sample of the silent room, so-called, it's not actually silent, but then you can use that, take out the noise in the recording to remove all those sounds?
That's what the process I use does.
Yeah. Room
Take
noise.
sound sample from silences and then... Yeah. I've also found that I tend to add back some of the room tone or replace it with a different room tone depending on the context. A lot of it's for just podcast editing, so there's not really high stakes.
Yeah. But you can take out the room noise, which might be like the air conditioner in the background, and then add back in room tone, which is more like those reverberations to make it sound like a particular type of room.
Yeah, maybe we can cover that on your singing show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I roll up, show people my noise gate, and then I leave.
Good preview.
It sounds like I just succeeded at, like, typing.
Yes, that did have a very... Yeah, I don't know. What would it... It'd have to be a lot more triumphant. Maybe not on arpeggiating. Do people who do art for like a living / fun just stare at it for a really long time? Is that part of the process? Because that's what I'm doing, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think they bill for those hours, but that is part of the process. There's also, like, if people are working digitally, it's a lot easier to quickly manipulate something. And
Yeah.
the other way, like doing the traditional art, is just iteration.
yeah.
I think it's identical to like trying to solve a programming problem or something. It's like you just have to get it in your head somehow. You have to figure it out, figure out the solution.
Does that mean that like tonight I'm gonna be like waking up in the middle of the night, like realizing the solution to my penne?
I've had that happen, so yes. Look forward to that. Just look forward to like bolting up in bed to Penny.
It'll be like matrix lines, like all crisscrossing, like how it all connects. I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I won't be able to get it out of my head onto the paper fast enough.
It's like in my head, I'm looking at it, and the closest parallel is like conic sections.
Yeah. Which are always, kind of mind blowing, but it is a little bit like that. Because that's what that is here, I guess, like, well, not really, because they're not. They are circles, supposedly. Theoretically.
In theory, they're like an ellipse, which is like a conic section that's like the circle's the flat 90, and then if you rotate it, you get different circle. Squashy, longer, taller circle. So this is just, you've got a cylinder that travels for infinity, and you've just taken some slices at
Yeah.
angles.
Yeah, that's true. And the fact that it is going definitely at an angle to the Rubik's cube does mean that it's not it's gonna be an ellipse for sure, right?
Yeah. Unless it's a weird
Or
angle.
I guess, you know, it would depend on whether my Rubik's cube was truly cube, which it's kind of not. So
It matters if your like ellipse on the end is a circle. Right? You could still draw a circle on your wonky Rubik's cube.
that was my intention, but I'm gonna
Like,
try to put
I
pens
think
on it.
you're there. It's just
Where am I?
yeah. It's just also lost.
Yeah. I think the thing I have to do next is actually think about light because I don't want to actually make my cube clear. I really only want to draw the exterior, the part that you would see if you were looking at this cube from
Yeah.
this perspective, which is a bit of the inside of the cube as seen through the cut. But I want it to look properly shaded. I don't know. It's a lot to ask.
Well, again, if you have like, imagine you have like a point light or just a directional light, then you can use the ruler to put down where the shadows from stuff that protrudes would land. Like, exactly the same way as your vanishing points.
Right. That takes so much patience, Corey.
We could try drawing a piano. I'm sure that won't. Some railroad tracks, just iterating on the exact same shape for infinity. Now I'm gonna flip over and do another thing. I've finished my masterpiece.
Woo.
Now it's time to move on. Actually, we never really talked about stretching.
Oh.
Do you have any good stretches?
I'm pretty flexible, so my stretches may be not everyone's cup of tea, but like this one, you know?
Oh, yeah. Clasp at the behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, grabbing a towel or whatever, like they say.
Yeah. We've all been sitting at a computer for a long time. Every single one of us. So getting a little bit of shoulder stuff going, hand and wrist stuff going is good. I feel a lot better.
And if you're sitting down, standing up and stretching.
All right. All right.
Do a hip stretch too, like pick up, you know, get your. I'm like, you can't see it, but I'll do it. I'm like
Oh, that's a good one.
getting in there.
Yeah, that makes my knee pop, so I don't really want to expose people to that.
Yeah. It also kind of helps me like make progress on the work too. It's not just, good physically. It's also like, oh yeah, I need to get over myself and just draw a freaking line.
You'll get there.
But what if it's not perfect?
Then we burn it down, and hide the evidence. I can delete this VOD after the show, if you need.
I'm just gonna like do a thing. I'm like really. I'm over it. I'm just doing a thing.
Yeah, definitely try out more of the markers.
Like it technically should be darker. Technically should be darker. Where? I don't know. But these pens aren't even different enough. You can't take it back. They're pens.
True. Never take
Okay,
pens back.
Weird face.
You do have a face. It looks happy at least. It's
Here. Have to give it a little bit more of a smile.
I've been trying to learn. I was watching Centaur World and trying to learn how to draw the Centaur World characters. I
haven't seen that before. Centaur World.
Yep.
Is it animated?
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Or
A cartoon musical.
Centaurs?
No, it's not real life centaurs. I wish.
Sadness. I hear the sadness.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm learning something now about blending with these pens a little bit, so that's good. It's probably where the magic is, really.
Probably. Centaur. How do you do? Oh no. I've messed up my beautiful centaur.
Where is it possible to access this Centaur World show?
God, is it Netflix? I'll check. It's gotta be streaming. Blah, blah, blah. Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. My mind's been all Amazon Prime since the Evangelion movie came out, so.
This is actually, I'm happier now because I think as much as I appreciate abstractness, I was really wanting to do something not entirely abstract. So now I have like cube face creature to work with.
Chat, does Womawink have a tail? I don't remember. She's like a llama thing. With little hooves.
Is that one of the centaurs?
Yeah. They, come in a variety of shapes and sizes. The main cast are I believe, llama centaur, giraffe centaur, canary centaur, and I assume some type of deer.
So literally none of them are horses?
The main character is a horse who was transported to Centaur World with a magic artifact. There's also songs. It's partly a musical.
Oh my god.
Oh, missing the arms. You're right. One Week has arms. I don't remember what the arms look like. I can't remember which parts of the body are smooth or fuzzy. Here, I'll just... This... Okay. Alright, that's one character down. Oh yeah. So good at this. Remember that they have ears. Yes. Always forget the ears. Okay. And then there's like small, I think it says arms back like bird arms. He has like little shorts, I think. And knobby feet. Yells a lot. That's another character. He flies with his human arms. It's disturbing.
All right. I just gave my creature some whiteout fangs.
That looks dope. That looks really cool from a distance. I mean, it looks cool close up too, but I first saw it at a distance.
All right. Yep.
I call it a success. You've now mastered 2-point perspective.
Yep.
Yeah, you're one step away from interior design. Like,
Indeed, I am. The interior of a very troubled mind design.
it's wordy, but yeah, you know. We are in like the last 10 minutes of stream, so I might as well tell people what is coming up next, which is Dice Friends. Adam, Beej, and Paul are going to be playing the Choose Your Own Adventure Gnomes 100 Dragons 0 again. Then tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Then on Talking Sim, Cameron and I are playing Manifold Garden. And no one will get motion sick at all. That's a guarantee. Then Ben and Adam continuing Resident Evil Village. Looks like Paul and Heather will be continuing It Takes Two on Play It Forward on Wednesday morning. Maybe they're getting close. No, not this Heather. Other Heather. Shout out to the YouTube, by the way. Our Heather, Loading Ready Runs Heather, is the one that takes care of our uploads for that. And yes, Wednesday we got Jackbox. Jackbox. I shall be playing. We've got Kathleen, me, Heather, Wheeler, Ian, Beej, Adam, and it looks like Michelle's joining us. So that'll be cool. Thursday, Magic, 2 p.m. Then 5 p.m. Ian is going to be building a model of the injection mold machine that builds Gundam models.
Build what models?
Gundam models. So
Gundam.
It's the Electromotive Style Injection Machine Gunpla. Friday's Play It Forward, then Chill Point, then Paper Fight. They're playing Kaladesh Remastered. They're doing a draft. And the big news is that on Saturday morning, the Le Mans 24 hours starts. So Ian is going to be driving for 24 hours, starting 7 a.m. on Saturday. I think I'll be joining him again because it's here at the Tilty House. I think he's picked a car. I'm excited to see what other vehicles are there with him this time. I'm also just loving this face as it comes together. Is he using a different game from last time? He's playing Assetto Corsa. What did he do last time? Project Cars 2? Ears are important, Beowulf.
I'm working literally at an ear right now because it's so important.
That's what they were talking about.
Oh, I thought they were talking about the ears on yours.
Mine doesn't. Well, I mean, my little people have ears, but yes, you're right, Contingent Cat. When it's Corey's turn to drive, we're going off road, whenever possible. Just completely muck up our score. If I take another 40-minute lap, that's on Ian. Oh, but yeah, we're done. We're good.
What?
That's
What?
yeah. Thank you
Can't
for
believe it.
joining me today.
Yeah. Fun times.
It was fun.
I learned some things. I'm glad they thought ears were important because that ear I'm doing is just like a little bit overly emphasized. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome.
I hope the audience was sufficiently amused. I won't say, thoroughly amused.
I mean, you could tickle the ivories for the first time, just a little, just give them a little something to go out on.
Oh, you're still with us? Hi. Let me see. So I'll speak directly to the audience. I hope you all were sufficiently amused, and I'm glad that you're here.
Yep. They're enjoying it. They are saying they were entertained. They're throwing music emotes in the chat.
Okay.
But yes.
But they haven't heard the crunchy part yet.
So good. I think I just need to live inside a sawtooth,
Yeah. It was. Yeah, the modulation was sawtooth. The oscillators are set. Oh no, one's saw. You're right, and the other one is square. Good call.
I am the music master. It's lies. That all comes from oscilloscopes. Anyway. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'll have fun. Goodbye. We're going away now. Enjoy ads later. Okay.
What?
I
Now
forgot.
are we done?
I forgot to thank the last subs that I have in my notifications. I'm a
Alright.
criminal. So thank you, Jean-Jacques EB, for 32 months. Questair, 44 months. What do you call a noisy horse? A herd animal. Gap filler, 22 months, and then they cheered with 100 bits. Well, hey, we're supposed to throw change. Yeah, thank you. And Simon Arc, for 43 months, sneaking in the resub so I don't get embarrassed and feeling like I've tricked someone into saying things. Too late. Too late, Simon Arc. Now we can do going offline and ads and such.